I used to think getting rich was simple. Work hard, save your money, be patient. You know, like the advice your uncle gives you right before asking you for N2000. I genuinely believed that if I just tried harder, stayed disciplined, and avoided buying shawarma, money would eventually respect me. Spoiler alert, it didn't. What nobody tells you is this: hard work doesn't make you rich. It makes you tired. Saving money doesn't make you wealthy. It just delays being broke. And patience? Patience without direction is just waiting, with hope and vibes. I spent years doing the right things and still asking myself, why am I working so hard but not moving forward? That's when I realized something uncomfortable. The problem wasn't effort. The problem was the rules I was playing by. Because there are two sets of rules in this world. The rules they teach you, and the rules the wealthy actually follow. And no one hands you the second rule book. You're expected to figure it out after wasting time, energy, and potential. That's why this channel exists. Welcome to Hidden Rules of Wealth, where we talk about the things nobody explains clearly. Why income isn't wealth. Why being busy keeps you poor. Why the system works perfectly, just not for survivors. And how ownership, leverage, and assets quietly change everything. This isn't get-rich-quick nonsense. It's get-rich-aware first. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right but still stuck, relax. You're not lazy, you're not cursed. You were just never taught the real game. Let me share the 10 things I wish someone told me before I tried to get rich, so you don't learn them the hard way. Let me start with a painful truth. Getting rich is not about hard work. I know this is where hardworking people start sweating and adjusting their collars because from childhood they drilled it into us. Work hard and you'll succeed. So we worked hard, very hard. Sometimes it's too hard. We woke up early, closed late, skipped rest, skipped fun, skipped life, and still checked our bank balance like it owed us money. Here's the part nobody likes to say out loud. Hard work keeps the system running. It doesn't make you rich. If effort alone created wealth, construction workers would be billionaires. Farmers would own private jets, and nurses would be negotiating yacht prices on their lunch breaks. But that's not how the world works. Employees are paid based on time and effort. Owners are paid based on results and leverage. Big difference. The wealthy don't wake up asking, "How hard can I work today?" They ask, "How can I make one decision to pay me multiple times?" They use leverage, systems that work even when they sleep. People who multiply output, capital that makes more capital. One video watched by millions. One product sold repeatedly. One system scaling without burnout. Meanwhile, most people are proud of being busy. Busy is not rich. Busy is just exhausted with receipts. Let me be clear, hard work is not useless. It's just incomplete. Hard work without leverage is like running on a treadmill, sweating, moving, suffering, but still in the same spot. The moment you stop working, the money stops too. Wealth begins when effort is detached from income. So don't ask how to work harder. Ask how to work once and get paid many times. That shift alone changes everything. Let's clear another big lie. Income is not wealth. I don't care how impressive the salary sounds. 6 figures, 7 figures, with benefits and end-of-year bonus. If your money disappears the moment you stop working, congratulations, you're well paid, not wealthy. A high income with no assets is just a stressful lifestyle subscription. Nice car, nice clothes, nice phone, but one missed paycheck and suddenly, let me manage this month carefully. That's not wealth. That's pressure wearing designer shoes. Income is what helps you survive. It pays rent, fuel, food, and random emergencies that show up uninvited. Wealth is what pays you when you're tired, sick, or not in the mood. If you have to show up every day, or else everything collapses, that job owns you. You don't own anything. Here's the real difference. Income says, if I don't work, I don't eat. Assets say, even if I rest, money still reports for duty. Rental income, businesses, content, investments, royalties, systems that don't need your mood to function. The truly wealthy don't panic over Mondays. They don't fear public holidays. They don't cry when their phone battery dies, because money isn't tied to their physical presence. You can earn N1 million monthly and still be broke. If your lifestyle eats N950K and your future gets N0, wealth is not how much you make, it's how long you can live without making anything new. So ask yourself this uncomfortable question. If I stopped working today, how long would I be okay? If the answer makes you nervous, relax. You're not failing, you're just building income without building freedom. And freedom only comes from assets. Income keeps you alive. Assets give you a life. Let's talk about the most expensive thing you own. No, not your phone, not your car, not even that wig you're still paying for. Your time. Money can be replaced. Lost money can come back. But time? Once it goes, it doesn't reply to your messages. Yet most people treat time like it's unlimited. They wake up every day and sell all their hours, then proudly say, "At least I'm busy." Busy doing what? Building whose dream? Most people rent out their time for money and then wonder why they never escape. Because you can't buy freedom with the same thing keeping you trapped. Here's the brutal math. Time plus effort. Unlimited income. No matter how hard you work, you still have 24 hours. The rich understand this early. They don't ask, "How can I make more money with my time?" They ask, "How can I make money without my time?" That's the difference. The poor rent out time forever. Clock in, clock out, repeat until retirement, if energy allows. The rich buy time. They use money to create space, outsourcing tasks, automating systems, hiring people, building assets that work independently. They'd rather lose money than lose time. Most people would rather lose time than lose money. That's why people will spend 3 hours negotiating N1000, but give 5 years to a job that's going nowhere without thinking twice. Time is the only asset you can't save, borrow, or recover. You only spend it. Every hour you trade for money should be moving you closer to freedom. If it isn't, you're just aging professionally. This doesn't mean quit your job tomorrow and start shouting entrepreneur. Relax. It means asking smarter questions. How can this hour pay me again? How can this effort scale? How can I stop being required for every naira I earn? Because when your time is gone, no amount of money can buy it back. Protect it like wealth, because it is. Let's be honest about something we don't say out loud. Nobody pays you because you're educated. They pay you because you're useful. That certificate on your wall, it's very nice, very clean, very framed. But certificates don't solve problems. Skills do. The market doesn't wake up and ask, "Who has the most degrees today?" It asks, "Who can get results? Can you sell? Can you create attention? Can you write words that move people? Can you design, code, edit, automate, or use AI properly?" If the answer is yes, money starts acting funny around you. You can have 10 degrees and still be unemployed. Meanwhile, someone with one solid skill is rejecting job offers because they're too busy. That's not luck, that's leverage. Degrees are about knowledge, skills are about application, and money only rewards applications. Think about it. Nobody pays a doctor for reading medical books. They pay for treatment. Nobody pays a lawyer for knowing the law. They pay for winning cases. Results are the currency. Certificates are just receipts. One high-income skill, just one, can outperform an entire academic journey. Sales can turn silence into money. Content can turn ideas into income. Tech can turn logic into leverage. Writing can turn thoughts into cash. AI can turn speed into advantage. And here's the funny part. Most people collect certificates like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. But they never master anything deeply enough to get paid well. Wealth doesn't come from knowing many things. It comes from being exceptionally valuable at one thing. This doesn't mean education is useless. It means education without skill is expensive confidence. If your knowledge can't save time, make money, or solve a real problem, the market will politely ignore it. Learn skills, get dangerous with them, then let the world decide your worth, not your transcript. Let me save you from one of the most expensive mistakes in the wealth journey. You don't need more ideas. You need one idea, executed well. Most people aren't broke because they lack opportunities. They're broke because they're trying everything at the same time. Today it's crypto. Tomorrow it's Forex. Next week it's dropshipping. By month end it's let me just focus on my 9 to 5. That's not ambition. That's financial ADHD. Wealth doesn't come from jumping. It comes from staying. One clear focus, one direction, one thing you commit to even when it stops being exciting. Because let me tell you something nobody likes. Boredom is not a sign to quit. Boredom is a sign you're about to get good. Every profitable person you admire did the same thing. They showed up when it was dull, when growth was slow, when nobody was clapping, when it felt like nothing was happening. Trying everything feels productive. It gives you dopamine, it makes you feel busy. But busy doesn't build wealth. Consistency does. Wealth is boring. It's repeating the same actions, posting again, selling again, improving again, learning the same skill deeper, not wider. Most people quit right before momentum kicks in. Not because it failed, but because it stopped being entertaining. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you can't do one thing for a long time, you won't do anything long enough to win. Success isn't hidden. It's just on the other side of repetition. So stop chasing new ideas. Pick one. Commit to it. Execute it badly at first. Then better. Then exceptionally. Because money doesn't reward excitement. It rewards execution over time. And yes, it's boring. That's why it were. Let's finally expose one of the most popular financial lies. Just save your money. Save it where? Under your pillow? In an account earning motivational interest? Don't get me wrong, saving is good. Saving is responsible. Saving stops you from making foolish decisions at 2 a.m. But saving alone will never make you rich. Saving protects money. It does not multiply money. If saving was the secret to wealth, bank tellers would be billionaires. Here's the uncomfortable math. Inflation is quietly eating your savings every year. So while you're proud of being disciplined, your money is slowly going on a diet. Saving without investing is like putting food in the fridge and expecting it to cook itself. Nothing happens. It just sits there, judging you. Wealth begins when you learn how money moves. Money grows through businesses that create value, investments that compound, assets that pay you back. That's how rich people think. Not how do I save more, but how do I make this money work harder than I do? Most people save their whole lives and still panic at emergencies. Why? Because saving is defensive. Wealth requires offense. This doesn't mean go and gamble your savings. Relax. It means learn the basics, how businesses scale, how assets generate cash flow, how investments grow over time. Because money that doesn't move dies slowly. Saving without investing is not financial wisdom. It's a delayed struggle. Yeah, save money, but don't worship it. Use it, deploy it, put it to work. Because the goal isn't to die with a full savings account. The goal is to build systems that fund your life, even when you're not trying so hard. Saving keeps you safe. Investing is what sets you free. Let's talk about the most dangerous addiction nobody warns you about. Comfort. Not drugs, not alcohol. Comfort. Comfort feels innocent. Comfort feels deserved. Comfort says, you've worked hard today, so relax small. Next thing you know, 3 hours are gone. Netflix is still asking, are you still watching? And your future is somewhere in the corner, crying quietly. Here's the painful truth. The system doesn't reward comfort. It rewards consistency. Netflix won't pay you. Parties won't build assets. Trends won't secure your future. But they're very good at stealing time, politely. Every scroll, every just one episode, every weekend is wasted because life is hard. Comfort slowly turns discipline into excuses. Wealth requires discomfort at every level. New income, new habits. More money, more responsibility, higher goals, tighter discipline. And here's the funny part. People want rich lives with poor routines. They want freedom without structure, success without sacrifice, results without boredom. Doesn't work that way. The wealthy aren't superhuman. They just delay comfort longer than most people. They choose effort today so life is easier tomorrow, while most people choose ease today and struggle quietly later. This doesn't mean never rest. Rest is necessary. But the rest should recharge you, not replace your ambition. If your daily routine feels too comfortable, that's a warning sign. Growth lives in repetition, discipline, saying no to distractions, Doing what's boring but valuable. Comfort feels good now. Discipline feels good later. And wealth lives on the later side. So the next time comfort calls your name, ask yourself a simple question. Is this feeding my future or stealing from it? Your answer decides everything. Let me tell you something. Motivation speakers don't like to admit. Motivation is overrated. You can be motivated every morning and still go nowhere if your environment is dragging you backwards. If everyone around you is just surviving, guess what? You'll survive too. Not because you're lazy, but because normal is contagious. When your circle celebrates Friday like it's a national holiday, mocks anyone trying something new, and thinks ambition is doing too much, your dreams start feeling awkward. Wealth grows faster around a certain type of people. Builders who are creating something. Thinkers who question the system. Owners who don't wait for permission. Not complainers, not excuse collectors. Not people allergic to accountability. Your environment programs your standards. It decides what feels possible or crazy. If nobody around you owns anything, ownership starts feeling unrealistic. If nobody invests, saving feels like the final level. If nobody talks about growth, staying stuck feels normal. And here's the scary part. The environment will either upgrade you or downgrade you, quietly. No argument, no warning, just a slow influence. That's why some people stay motivated for years and still don't move. It's hard to build a future in a room that keeps pulling you into the past. This doesn't mean cut everyone off and become arrogant. Relax. It means be intentional. Change what you listen to. Change what you consume. Change who has access to your thinking. Because if you don't change the room will change you. And it usually doesn't ask for permission. Put yourself where growth is normal, where discipline is respected, where ownership is expected. Motivation fades, environment stays. Choose wisely. Let's talk about the part of getting rich nobody posts on Instagram. It's lonely. Not I need friends lonely. I mean mentally lonely. The moment you decide to take your future seriously, people around you start acting strange. You stop partying every weekend? You've changed. You're working late on something unpaid. Why are you stressing yourself? You say no to things that don't move you forward. Relax, money isn't everything. Suddenly, discipline looks like arrogance and focus looks like pride. They'll call you obsessed, selfish, unrealistic, sometimes even boring. Not because you're wrong, but because your growth makes them uncomfortable. When you're building something, you're operating on a frequency most people don't tune into, so they label it. Here's the truth. Growth is often a solo journey. Not because you hate people, but because the path requires silence, focus, and sacrifice. You'll miss events. You'll feel misunderstood. You'll outgrow conversations that revolve around complaints and excuses. And yes, it hurts a little, but loneliness is temporary. Regret is permanent. Every successful person you admire went through a phase when nobody clapped. Nobody understood. Nobody believed. They weren't crazy. They were early. This doesn't mean isolate yourself from the world. It means accept that not everyone can walk with you at every level. Some people are for survival seasons. Some are for growth seasons. Few are for ownership seasons. And that's okay. If your journey feels lonely right now, don't panic. You're not lost. You're not arrogant. You're just upgrading. And upgrades often require space before they bring rewards. Let me end with the truth nobody wants to hear, but everybody needs. It takes longer than you think. There is no overnight success, no magic shortcut, and no secret Telegram group with urgent opportunity. Just time, effort, repetition, and patience that feels slightly disrespectful. Most people quit because they thought results would come faster. They give something 3 weeks, see no miracles, and conclude, this thing is not working. Meanwhile, growth is happening quietly, under the surface. Skills compounding, systems forming, momentum loading. Here's the irony. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. Not because they failed, but because they got tired of waiting. Wealth is slow at the beginning, then confusingly fast later. It's like pushing a broken car. At first, nothing moves. Your legs hurt, your pride hurts, people are watching. Then suddenly momentum. and now the same car feels light. That's how progress works. The problem is, most people stop pushing right before the wheels start rolling. There are no shortcuts, but there is a direction. And once you're moving in the right direction long enough, everything changes faster than you expect. Opportunities appear, confidence grows, options multiply. Not because you got lucky, but because you stayed. If I understood these 10 things earlier, my life would look very different today. But now you know them. So the real question isn't, does this work? The real question is, will you apply it? Because information doesn't change lives, application does. And the people who win, they're not special. They just didn't quit.